Hey, welcome to today's episode. I am so excited for today's episode because there are some top tips that you can be using on Facebook to really get results in your business. And I want to share them with you because they're amazing. So if we are meeting for the first time, my name is Brandy. I am coming to you from Utah. And what I do is help business owners, entrepreneurs use social media to build a business that makes them money, builds them teams, and gets them customers. So today, I want to talk about a few things happening on Facebook that will really help you to grow your influence and grow your list. Okay, so number one, make sure that you are liking, commenting, and loving on other people's stuff. You have to give love to get love. That's how social media works. Okay, this is one of the biggest mistakes I see happening on social media is we post and we're all about what we want, right? But we're not paying attention to everyone else around us. And business, let's be honest, is a relationship. It's a relationship between two people. And if you're not building the relationship on that side first with them, liking, commenting, and loving on their stuff, then they are not seeing your stuff. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, make sure and add 5 new people a day to grow your influence, growing your audience. It's super important, right? You don't want to run the same movie in front of the same people over and over and over and over again. So you want to be growing your list. Now, remember, you don't want to just go down the suggested friends list and add. In fact, if you do that, it's going to be way more work than if you do a little bit of research. So number one, stick with 5, all right? You don't want to add a ton of friends at once because they don't know you yet and they're not going to comment like on your stuff until you comment like and love on their stuff. So you don't want to hurt your visibility of what you're posting. So make sure it's a slow ad and you're getting to know these people and loving on their posts so that they're seeing what you're doing, okay? So you want to grow your list. There isn't really a set time to spend before posting, but really what happens is it's kind of like they want you to stay on Facebook. So just spend at least a good 10 to 30 minutes before you post, commenting, liking, and loving other stuff. So that especially for people that you want to maybe work with or they're really great as a customer. Okay. So one thing too, I forgot to add with adding new friends is make sure that they are in a place where you can actually enroll them, right? Not all companies, are open in all countries. So make sure that they are in a country you can actually recruit them. Number 2, make sure they're actually somebody you want to work with. And number 3, avoid the weirdos. Okay. Now, just because I've had that experience, right? Just avoid people that you wouldn't want to normally work with in real life. Okay. It's the same thing online. All right. Number 3, I think we're on. Don't post more than once a day. Okay. So people that tell you differently, it's kind of outdated, right? What Facebook wants you to do is they want you to do more stories and less posting. You still want to post and you still want to be interactive with other people's posts, but get into stories. This is really important. We'll talk a little bit more about this, okay? So most of the time I would definitely stick with once a day, and you'll notice like other people that have bigger followings, they can post more, right? But it's because their people are loyal and people interact with their post no matter what because they've built the following. They have those people to come and interact with those posts. All right. So number 4, spread out your posts. So you don't want to post and then like post, an hour later because your posts are going to fight with each other. So don't do that. Make sure that you are posting and then giving it enough time and kind of milking that post. Like if somebody comments on the post, you want to go in and comment back on the post, right? You want to use the algorithm the way that it's designed. It's not just a post. Okay. You want to just post and then again, go interact with other people's stuff and interact with what they're putting on yours. All right. So Facebook stories, I mentioned that a little bit ago. Now, Facebook stories are different than posting on your feed, and kind of how I want to share this one with you is that, and we could do a whole other episode on just Facebook stories. But Facebook stories are like the back end of what you're doing. Okay. So for instance, right now I am live, right? So I could take a shot of this. Like I'm just going to do it to show you. This is like the back end, right? So I'm taking a shot of this and I will post that in my stories and say, hey, go take a look at my, my live video. If you missed it, this is what we talked about, right? And it's a back end of kind of, shows kind of like the techie side of things, but people want to see the back end. So this could be like, maybe a picture of your desk. Like if you were to see my desk right now, I've got papers here, papers over here, right? My son's speaker, tax documents for grandpa, whatever, right? Like they want to see what's happening in your life. Now, posts on Facebook, like actual posts, you want those to be more meaningful and more meat in them. All right. Stories are the back end. And you never, repeat after me, you never want to post the same thing on your profile as you do in your stories all the time, every day. Okay. Like that's not going to work. Now, once in a while, if you want to share a post into your stories so that people can go, check it out, like it's going to show up as a little teeny box, but use Facebook stories. Okay. People are wanting that micro content. So it's a great way for you to take advantage of the algorithm. They want us to use stories. All right. So the next tip is to actually never leave a link in your posts. Okay. So unless it's a paid ad, okay, you want to put your links in the comments. You don't want the links to be in like the description. So if you were to look right now in this live video, there shouldn't be a link in the description, right? I'm going to post it in the comments for you to get more information on how to build your business on social media. All right. Always leave links in the comments and tell people in the video or in the post of the description that the link for, whatever is in the comments down below. All right. So, unclutter your feed by staying friends with the people you like, but you don't care to see their posts. Okay. So you want to unclutter. That means drop the people that you don't want to be seeing. Click on, so this is how this works. It's click on see first on the people you really want to follow and click close friends. Okay. On anyone you absolutely love seeing their content, you get up to 30. Those you click on as close friends will be the ones you get an instant notification every time they post. So if you want to clean up your feed, right, you want to just put close friends and see first, and then that will post all that stuff in your feed first. Now, I personally like to use lists. This is a great way to do that as well, is you can create lists of people, right? So in my lists inside of Facebook, and maybe I'll do a video on lists. I'll show you how to do lists next time. But inside of Facebook, you can create lists and you can add people to the list. So I have one that's like my friends. I have one that's like my family. I have one that's my team members. I have one that's my coaching clients. And I click on that list and it pulls up everything that they've posted. And so I can go in quickly and, interact with those people. All right. So number 8, I think it's number 8. I might be lost in how many tips I'm giving you. But the next tip is to have a very clear, well done profile picture and cover photo. Your profile picture, especially if you have different social media platforms like TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, blah, 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 right? All the things. It should be the same picture so that people recognize you no matter what platform you're on. Now, your cover photo, you just want it to be, part of who you are, and make sure that it's clear and professional. So it's kind of like a business card, right? Your online business card. And it's the first thing people see when they go to your Facebook page. So it's the first impression, and it's definitely important, right? If you have a new potential team member or a new potential customer that's checking you out, they are going to go to your Facebook profile. You know this because you do it too, right? All right. So the next one is be consistent, be positive, be authentic, be vulnerable, be funny. I know I have friends that are like, Brandy, you need to be more funny. I'm really not that funny. But be insightful, right? Don't always just share quotes. Share the insight of why you like that quote, or share, like, be vulnerable. I posted last week about how I've been struggling with all the things in life happening, right? And then add emojis, right? You don't want like emoji, but you can add emoji. It actually increases the engagement. I think I just looked this up. It's like 35% or something that it increases your engagement. But don't overdo it, like I said, because, if you've got like 25 fires in a row, right? And then 15 rolling on the floor laughing emojis, it gets a little redundant. So don't overdo it. Now, this one is super important. And I've actually fallen into this. When I was brand new, I didn't know how to make content, right? I didn't know how to be authentic. I didn't know how to do any of this stuff. And I was like, well, how come I have to, go and make all this content myself when I can just copy and paste other people's content? Well, here's the key. Not only will you tick off the person you steal that from, because it's very, very rude. I've done it and been totally busted doing it. So don't do it. It comes off as kind of like you're lazy, which I totally was being lazy. But Facebook knows that it's already been posted. So don't take a quote and just post it. Maybe write it out like I was saying and talk about what it means to you, or, build your own, but always give credit to the author of where you got it, right? Like, I can't think of a quote right now, but I share a lot of quotes, but always share who wrote the quote. It's important. All right. So just remember that building business on social media, it's still about building relationships. Okay. It is still about building relationships. It's not about being popular. It's not about being, the one with the best content. It's about creating connection and relationships. And it's about listening to your audience, and it's about building that trust. Okay. And growing your audience, engaging with that audience, and promoting to that audience. And just remember, when you show your authenticity, you create your own voice and you really become authentic to people. And there's enough people for everyone, right? Like, for instance, I remember when I first got started building my business online like 8 years ago, I used to think, well, I'm not Eric Worre. Like, why would people listen to me, right? They can just go to Eric Worre and he knows all the things. He's got all the things, right? Well, Eric Worre has his own tribe, right? I have my own tribe. You have your own tribe. And it's important to realize that Facebook is just the bridge. You still need to build those real conversations, and you do those real conversations either by getting on a Zoom with someone or getting to Messenger and messaging people, voice messaging, or, texting or whatever. But the one thing that really is hard for a lot of people to understand about social media is you still have to ask, right? You've got to ask people to take a look at your product, to ask to look at your business. You've got to ask, or people are never going to enroll. And this was something I fell into as well, is that I thought, if I create all this incredible content, right? I create all this cool stuff and people are going to come to me, which it does happen every now and again, right? Where you get somebody that's like, wow, I've been watching you for a long time. I'd really like to work with you. But I can tell you, those top-notch people that you want in your team, if you go to them and you say, look, I really want to work with you. I want to jump on a Zoom and talk about what that might look like. If you're open to it, let's do, Tuesday or Wednesday, you set the appointment, right? People really appreciate you being honest and upfront. Now, you can't do this with strangers, right? Like, you can't send some stranger a message and be like, look, I really want to work with you. Can we jump on a Zoom and talk about what that might look like? No, the relationship comes first. Okay. That would be like me walking across the street and asking my neighbor to marry me. He'd be like, what the, right? Even though he knows me, like, he knows who I am, right? But we're not romantically involved. We've never been on a date, right? We're both married to somebody else, right? You've got to build the relationship first before you ask to get married. But make sure you're asking. And if you're doing this right, it's a lot of fun. You'll meet a lot of friends and your business will be successful. So I'm going to drop a link down below where you can get more info on how you can build your business using social media. And if you have any questions, go ahead and let me know.